Dear students, so let's start our class. Before I, start the discussion, just please confirm that all of you are able to hear my voice very clearly and able to view the screen properly.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
great. So, what we will discuss today is exponential inequalities. Okay. So, the elementary exponential inequalities are of the following form. It is either a power x is greater than b or a power x is less than b. And what is our task? Our task is to find the set of values of x satisfying the inequality a power x greater than b or a power x less than b. X, you know, is a real number which is unknown, which you need to find. And what is a and b? A and b are real numbers. But there is a restriction on the number a, that the first restriction is that a should not be equal to 1. I made a small mistake here. A should not be equal to 1 and a should be greater than 0. A should not be equal to 1 and a should be greater than 0. That means a cannot be equal to 1 and a is greater than 0. So what we are going to do is that we are going to solve these inequalities. Yeah, so let me remove the the previous part. So you get the correct one. So what I wanted to mean is that the restriction on a is that a cannot be equal to 1 and a is greater than 0. So this is the restriction on that a. So this is the solution what we are going to find now, and we will see there are depending on the values of the parameters a and b, the solution also varies. Okay, so the first and foremost what I can say is that um, for the inequation a power x greater than b, okay, for the inequation a power x greater than b, the solution, we will see that how the solution are varying depending on the values of a and b. So here it is. I'm going to show you that when you get an inequation of the form a power x greater than b, how the solution is actually getting, varied based on the different ranges of the values of the parameter a and b. The first thing is that if you see, dear students, is this one, that solution to the inequation a power x greater than b is if a is greater than 1 and b is greater than 0, then the solution is the open interval log b to the base a up to infinite. If a is in between 0 and 1 and b is greater than 0, then the solution is minus infinite to log b to the base a open interval. And if a is greater than 0 and b is less than 0, then that solution to this inequality is x belongs to R, that is a set of all real numbers. I repeat, dear students, that solution to this inequality is a to the power x greater than b or a to the power x less than b depends on the parameters a and b. One restriction on a is that a should be greater than 0 and a is not equal to 1. That is the initial restriction. But if we are going to solve the inequation a power x greater than b, then if we see that a is greater than 1 and b is greater than 0, then the solution is the open interval log b to the base a to infinite. Okay? And if a is in between 0 to 1 and b is greater than 0, then the solution is the open interval minus infinite to log b to the base a. And the third one is that if a is greater than 0 but b is less than 0, then it is going to be true for all real numbers. Obviously, think about a greater than 0, a number 2. 2 to the power x obviously greater than any negative number. That is why the third condition is actually for all real numbers. So you need to remember this. What you need to remember? You need to remember for what kind of conditions of the parameters a and b, what is the solution set. Now, this solution is absolutely, getting inverted almost, when we discuss the solution to the inequation a power x less than b. Now let us see what is the solution for the inequation a power x less than b. I just want to confirm, dear students, you are able to hear my voice very clearly, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
you are able to view the screen properly? No issue on this viewing the screen?
Yes, sir.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So now, what we are going to discuss, dear students, is the solution to the inequality a power x less than b. Solution to the inequality a power x less than b is the following. When a greater than 1 and b greater than 0, then the solution is minus infinite to log b to the base a open interval. When the value of a is in between 0 and 1, that is 0 less than a less than 1, and b greater than 0, then the solution is the open interval log b base a up to infinite. And when a is greater than 0 and b is less than 0, then the solution, doesn't exist any solution. That is why we wrote that x belongs to phi. Phi is a null set, if you recall, dear students. If you looked into my video lectures on sets, then you'll understand phi is the null set. That means that inequality, that a power x less than b when a is greater than 0 but b is less than 0, has no solution. Obviously, na. Think about 2 to the power x less than minus 5 doesn't have any solution. Na? Right? Anything power x has to be positive when this is a real number. That 2 to the power x, 2 to the power anything has to be positive. Na? So what I said, these are actually inverted. If you see, in case of a power x greater than b, when a greater than 1 and b greater than 0, the solution set is actually equivalent to the solution set of a power x less than b when a between 0 and 1 and b greater than 0, isn't it? Let me use a different color so that you can understand. This solution and this solution actually correspondence, right? Isn't it, dear students? If you notice. Just this, why I'm saying this thing, just to remember. So it is to remember in a more optimized manner. And if you see, dear students, when a is in between 0 and 1 and b greater than 0, then the solution to the inequality a power x greater than b, which is minus infinite open interval to log b to the base e open interval, is actually matching with the solution to the inequality a power x less than b when a is greater than 1 and b is greater than 0. Correct, dear students? Able to make this correspondence. And when a greater than 0, b less than 0, this is such an obvious case. A to the power x greater than b is the solution, is the set of all real numbers. And a to the power x less than b has no solution for a greater than 0, b less than 0. And so these are the, you know, what we discuss is that these are the very fundamentals. These are the very fundamental things that you need to remember. And one more, another fundamental thing that you should always recall while solving, inequations related to, exponential inequalities. And that is about that way how we can see that indices actually varies their relationship based on the proper fraction and improper fraction. All of you are aware of this thing, either by means of formula, means what I'm going to discuss now. All of you are aware of it, but it is very important while solving problem related to linear inequalities. Sorry, exponential inequalities. Think about when a is greater than b, then a by b is what? A by b is a improper fraction, isn't it, dear students?
Yes.
Right, a by b, value of numerator is greater than the value of the denominator. That is called as improper fraction. So I didn't utter the word improper fraction in this note, but what I wanted to mean is that when you see, a by b is there, which is a fraction, where a is greater than b, then a by b power x greater than a by b power y, definitely implying that x greater than y. And a by b power x less than a by b power y is implying x less than y. Correct, no? But that case is actually completely, inverted, when we see that a is less than b. That means when a by b is a proper fraction. A by b power x greater than a by b power y is actually implying x less than y. If you have any smallest confusion, we can have a look into it. Let's look at that a proper fraction called 1 by 2, just to explain this particular case. 1 by 2 power 3 and 1 by 2 power 4. Which one is more, dear students? 1 by 2 power 3 or 1 by 2 power 4?
Power 3.
1 by 2 power 3.
Yeah.
So 1 by 2 power 3 is greater than 1 by 2 power 4. But what is the relationship between 3 and 4? 3
4.
4, na? So that is why I wrote a by b power x greater than a by b power y, implying x less than y if a is less than b. Correct, dear students? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Correct or not? So 1 by 2 power 3 is greater than 1 by 2 power 4. That we know. From our intuition we know, na? So, but 3 is less than 4. And similarly, you can invert this case. 1 by 2 power 4 is less than 1 by 2 power 3. That means 4 is greater than 3, na? You can give an analogy here also with the same example. 1 by 2 power 4 sorry, 1 by 2 power 4 is less than 1 by 2 power 3. But that implies what? 4 is greater than 3, na? Which we wrote here, x greater than y. Which we wrote it here, x less than y. You need to remember this thing also. We have a tendency in the initial days, what I have experienced is that, oh, a by b power x greater than a by b power y. Oh, that means x is greater than y. That is true. That is true for one, when it is an improper fraction. Like, for example, if we look into this one, okay, that is, it is an improper fraction, will be what? 3 by 2, suppose. 3 by 2 power 3 is greater than 3 by 2 power 2, correct or not? So that is why 3 is greater than 2. And you can take the in the other way also, is that 3 by 2 power 4 is less than 3 by 2 power 3, correct or not? So that implies 4 is less than 3. The first one is very obvious case. That's why we do not, give much, attention. But the second case, when that A by B is a proper fraction, then the indices inequality actually completely get changed. So what I'm saying, so you should actually give full, attention to this. Whenever you see a to the power x greater than a to the power y, first understand what is that number. If a is a natural number, then to whatever is a power x greater than a power y is implying x greater than y. Correct, no? But otherwise, it is a matter of a fraction, then you should give full attention whether it is a proper fraction or improper fraction. And dear students, I'm not discussing the case when a is equal to b, which is so obvious in context to this discussion. Na? If a is equal to b, then a by b is equal to what? 1.
Yeah.
So 1 to the power x and 1 to the power y, you know what is the relationship, right? Correct, na? So that we are not discussing here. Correct. So that is not under the discussion of this kind of stuff. So now what we are going to do, we are going to solve some classical problems. Okay. And you will see how these concepts we can apply efficiently. And that will also give you, apparently again, whatever we are discussing here, students, is that little bit of advanced topics. And advanced topics, but when you apply these methodologies effectively, you will see that things are absolutely fall in place. Okay. So now the first question what we are going to do is something like this, is that we need to solve an inequality of, let me first, pull the question here. So this question says that it is the cube root of 2 to the power 3x minus 1 divided by x minus 1 is less than 8 to the power x minus 3 by 3x minus 7. This is the inequality we are going to solve now. Now, this is question number 1, what we are discussing today. So how to approach this one? Dear students, a common guideline is that, you see, in the left hand side we see 2 power something. In the right hand side we see 8 power something. Can we find a relationship between 2 and 8 in terms of power? Yes, 8 is nothing but 2 to the power 3. And that is going to play a big role here, as long as the solution to this inequality is concerned. So what we can write, dear students, from here? From here, we can write 2 to the power 3x by, we can write, 2 to the power 3x minus 1 by 3 into x minus 1 is less than 2 to the power 3 into x minus 3 divided by 3x minus 7. All of you agree to me? Dear student? Now you decide what is the value of, that, 2 power something, whether the 2 is greater than 0 or not.
Yeah.
Got it, no? What I'm saying? That 2 to 2 is an improper fraction, means 2 by 1, no? So obviously, 2 to the power 3x minus 1 by 3 into x minus 1 less than 2 to the power 3 into x minus 3 by 3x minus 7, definitely implying that 3x minus 1
Is less than.
correct. 3x minus 1 divided by 3 into x minus 1 is less than 3 into x minus 3 divided by 3x minus 7. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Okay, dear students, did you get this inequality, I hope?
Yes, sir.
After that, what you will do? After
So,
that, you should not cross multiply. Never cross multiply. This is the most important lessons learned as long as this question is concerned. What we should do, we can do cross multiply if we know specifically that what we are cross multiplying, that is positive or negative. Correct, no? So if we know that yes, we want to cross multiply by 3x minus 7, we need to confirm that 3x minus 7 is positive, but that you are not able to confirm, no? Because you do not know the value of x. So what you should do here, we should actually take that 3 into x minus 3 by 3x minus 7 to the left hand side of the inequality. So that implies what? That implies we get 3x minus 1 divided by 3 into x minus 1 minus 3 into x minus 3 divided by 3x minus 7 is less than 0. That you are allowed to do. If you recall, when you are adding or subtracting a quantity from both sides of the inequality remains same.
remains, yeah.
Now what we can do? We can now, simplify this thing. So if we simplify, what we are going to get in the denominator? In the denominator, we are going to get 3 into x minus 1, correct? Not 3 into x minus 1 into 3x minus 7. You also do, dear students, along with me. Then what we are going to get? It is 3x minus 1 into 3x minus 7, correct? Na?
Yeah.
3x minus 1 into 3x minus 7 minus 3 into, x minus 3. So we can write 9 here, by the way. Correct or not? 9 into x minus 3 into x minus 1. Correct or not? That is less than 0. Clear or not clear? Now, what you need to do is that you need to just simplify. I'm not spending time on simplification so that we can save and we can do, we can utilize the time. So what you are going to get is that, dear students, if you simplify, you are going to get x minus 5 by 3 in the numerator. Let me write 5 properly. X minus 5 by 3 divided by x minus 1 into x minus 7 by 3. Correct, na? Is less than 0. Now, can you please guide me how to solve this one? We have learned something. What method we can use here? Can anyone please let me know?
The wavy curve.
Fantastic. Appreciate. We should use the wavy curve method. And for that, what we should do? We should draw the number line. A number line is something like this. It's quite straightforward. A straight line. So midpoint is 0. It goes up to infinite in the right hand side. It goes up to the minus infinite in the left hand side. And as I said earlier, that we should make these 3 points 5 by 3, 7 by 3, and 1 at the relative position. Where will be 1? 1 will be somewhere here, na? Correct or not? 1 will be here. Okay, so let me minus infinite here. 1 will be here. This is 1. 5 by 3 will be where? 5 by 3 will be here, isn't it? And 7 by 3 will be where? It will be here. I again repeat, it no need to be precisely accurate between the distance of 1 and 5 by 3 and 5 by 3 by 7 by 3. Don't waste time on that. But it has to be relatively correct. That 5 by 3 should be right of 1 and 7 by 3 should be right of 5 by 3. That is the only thing you should be worried about. After that, what we'll do, just have a quick recap. We'll take a, we'll put our, the tip of the pen on the, above the number line and at a point which is more than 7 by 3, suppose here. We come down, come to 7 by 3. X minus 7 by 3 power is 1, which is odd, so I should cross the number line. Then go down and go up. X minus 5 by 3 power is odd, so I should cross the number line. Go up and down. X minus 1 power is odd, so I should cross the number line and run. Done. We are done with the drawing of the wavy curve. But what we should be bothered about now, we should be bothered about, as it is less than 0, we should be bothered about the below the number line, isn't it? Below the number line always less than 0 or less than equal to 0. Correct, not dear students, if you recall? Then what are the regions? This is one region, this is one region which is below the number line. From here, what we can say, the solution sets for x is what? X belongs to, and dear students, as the inequality contains less than 0, everything should be open interval. Achha, one point I forgot to mention in between, that 5 by 3 should be filled up circle and 1 and 7 by 3 should be unfilled circle. Though it is not very context sensitive in our discussion because it is less than 0 in equation. But anyway, I should have said this thing. Now, what will be x belongs to? X belongs to minus infinite to 1, no? Correct? Correct or not?
Yeah.
Minus infinite open interval to 1. Then union, what it will be? 5 by 3 to 7 by 3. But both 5 by 3 and 7 by 3 should be open interval. Why? Because the inequation is less than 0. Done. We got the solution. If you just see, dear students, that from where we started with an exponential inequality, and where we land up leveraging the methodology of wavy curve method. So it says that when we are solving a problem, we need to use different methodologies, different learning, what we have learned so far in complementary manner. Anyway, let's proceed to the next question, dear students. If you do not have any doubt in this question, then only I can proceed to the next question. Absolutely clear, dear Devanshu, Saknik, Disha, Vijita? Absolutely clear? Okay, great. Thanks for your confirmation. Then let me go to the next question. Next question is something like that. It is also, it is the power of, improper fraction. Just have a look into it and please guide me that what could be the solution. Means, what do you think that should be our approach towards this solution? Oh, I'm sorry, this is not the question I wanted to give. I wanted to give a different question now. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, let us discuss this question now. Later, I'll bring the other question. Other questions, I have a different plan to give it. But anyway, let's discuss this question. That is fine. So what comes to your mind, dear students, while looking to this question? So question number 2. What is
the bases are common, then we can just inequate the powers, exponents.
So I appreciate the answer. So what you see, the power 1 by 2 power, whatever you see the power in the left hand side, this content and this content, what is the relationship between these two? what is the relationship? They should be greater than or less than to each other. Can anyone say, please, dear students? As 1 by 2 is a proper fraction, so definitely this quantity should be greater than this quantity, isn't it? That's what we have learned, correct?
Yes.
That's what we have learned.
Yes.
If a by b power x is less than a by b power y, that implies x greater than y if a is less than b.
Yes.
Just concentrate on this part. Correct, not dear students?
Yes.
So this thing we are going to apply here. So if we apply, then what we are going to get? So this implies that x power 6 minus 2x x power 6 minus 2x cube plus 1 power 1 by 2 is greater than 1 minus 6. Correct or not? Now, let us concentrate on the left hand side, that is x power 6 minus 2x cube plus 1. If you see that left hand side, what is that x power 6 minus 2x cube power 1? What we are going to get? We are going to get something like that. X power 6 is what? X power 3 power 2 minus 2 into x power 3 into 1. Correct or not? Plus 1, we can write 1 power 3. There is a reason why I am writing so, because if you see, it is what is there in this particular this thing, what I underline now, it actually x cube minus 1 whole square. Correct, no? This implies it is actually x cube minus 1 whole square. Correct or not? And that power 1 by 2 is greater than 1 minus x. So now what we can conclude? Can you directly write it is x cube minus 1 in the left hand side? Not really. That is the reason why I brought this question. You directly cannot write, because we should write it is a mod of x cube minus 1 always. Because we do not know that whether it is inside is positive or negative. That where we can say is that it is a mod of x cube minus 1 is greater than 1 minus x. All of you got it, what I'm saying, why I wrote like this? Because whatever this x cube minus 1, that has to be a non-negative value. Okay, so that's why I wrote a mod of this. Okay, now think about the left member has to be non-negative. Left member is what? X cube minus 1. Correct, no? Left member has to be non-negative. That means what? Obviously 1 minus x, automatically satisfied. 1 minus x is less than 0. Correct or not? So here the member is actually non-negative, no? Left member here, what is? Mod of x cube minus 1 is non-negative. So 1 minus x less than 0 is automatically satisfied, right? Correct or not? Because 1 minus x is less than 0. So let's look into it here. These two cases. From here we can bring two cases. One case is that 1 minus x is less than 0. That is quite obvious. A non-negative value, that is mod of x cube minus 1, definitely should be greater than a negative value, that is 1 minus x. That implies what? That implies 1 is less than x. That means x is greater than 1. So for x is greater than 1, it is automatically satisfied, that dear students. Correct or not?
Yeah.
What we are going to consider here is that when x is less than equal to, when we are going to consider the x is less than equal to 1. So here what is the condition? What we get? X is greater than 1. Correct, no? So x is greater than 1, what we're going to get is that 1 minus x less than 0. So now we are going to consider a case when x is, less than equal to 1. X is less than equal to 1 means what? X cube is less than equal to 1, correct or not? I hope all of you agree to me. So what we are going to get? We are going to get here that this implies what? This implies mod of x cube minus 1, mod of x cube minus 1. So from here what we can conclude? We can conclude that mod of x cube minus 1 is actually negative, correct or not? Less than 0, correct or not? We cannot say actually less than 0, but mod of x cube minus, the inside that x cube minus 1. So let me write it here. So what you can write, x cube is less than equal to 1. This implies x cube minus 1 is less than equal to 0. So that actually implying that mod of x cube minus 1 is actually 1 minus x cube. And how we are getting 1 minus x cube, that also you can write. If you go back to the fundamental definition of modulus, mod of x is equal to minus x if x is less than 0. Remember? So what is the definition of mod x? Mod x equal to x if x is greater than 0 is equal to 0 if x is equal to 0 is equal to minus x if x is less than 0. Correct, no? So now what is there inside x cube minus 1? X cube minus 1 is less than 0, no? This content. So its mod value should be minus of x cube minus 1. Minus of x cube minus 1 is what? That is equal to 1 minus x cube. Correct or not? So what is the inequality we are going to have? So then this inequality what you are getting us, dear students. So this inequality is coming something like that. 1 minus x cube is greater than 1 minus x. Correct? So from here what you can write? From here we can write x into x minus 1 into x plus 1. What we are going to write is that if you simplify further, you are going to get x, 1 get cancelled, na? So x minus x cube is greater than 0. This implies what? X into 1 minus x square is greater than 0. Correct or not? So from here what we are going to get? So from here we are going to get is that x into 1 minus x into 1 plus x is greater than 0. This implies what? This implies we should write in a coefficient of x as 1 and everything should be in terms of x minus 1, correct or not? So what we are going to get? We are going to get x minus of minus 1. That is what is x plus 1, no? And 1 minus x, we are writing x minus 1. And what we will do, we will write x and then x minus 1. So let me write x here. X means x minus 0. And 1 minus x, I am writing x minus 1. And as we are multiplying by minus 1, so greater than 0 now becomes less than 0. I hope all of you agree to me. After that what? After that is quite obvious. Wavy curve method, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what you to do? You need to draw a number line. If you draw a number line, this is the 0. Right hand side it goes up to infinite. Left hand side it goes up to minus infinite. And what are the points here? Minus 1. That is minus 1 here. 0 is already there. And 1 is there. So now what we'll do, we keep our tip of the pen in the above the number line, right of 1 and come down x minus 1, power is 1, which is odd. I cross the number line, go down and come up. X minus 0, power is odd. So I cross the number line, go up and come down. X minus minus 1, that is x plus 1, power is odd. So I should cross the number line, done. And And what we should be worried about? Less than 0. Less than 0 means below the number line. As you know, dear students, below the number line, either less than 0 or less than equal to 0. So what should be worried about? So this is the solution set, no? So what is the solution set we are going to get? Minus infinite to minus 1
0
and
to
0 to 1. Correct or not?
1.
So from here, what we say? From here, we say that x belongs to minus infinite to minus 1 open interval, union open interval 0 to 1. And you know, dear students, we should only worry about the open interval because the inequality is less than 0. So this is one solution we get. Correct? And another solution we got, you know, when we get this, 1 minus x is less than 0. That is x greater than 1. No? We should merge these two solutions. So let me merge these two solutions. If we merge these two solutions, what we are going to get? Correct? No? That becomes x belongs to minus infinite to minus 1, union 0 to 1, and union 1 to infinite. Absolutely clear, dear students? Absolutely clear?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what are the lessons learned so far? Is that we should not miss out any of the assumption. We should not assume something and proceed. Rather, we should look into that whether we are considering all the corner cases or not. Why I brought this question, dear students? Generally, there is a tendency, what has been, I have noticed, that x cube minus 1 power 2 power 1 by 2 means x cube minus 1. No, dear students, not always. When you are solving inequalities questions, in other type of things, you can go ahead with this thing. But inequality means here each and every values of x and ranges of values of x are important. And you see here how it is getting different. But you can write, yes, it is equal to mod of x cube minus 1. I hope all of you got it very clearly. Okay. Next question is a very interesting question, and that is a question actually I wanted to give earlier, but now I'm going to give it now. Very good question, and we'll solve together. Okay, and you will understand that this is also a special type of questions to solve. Okay. So here is the question. You are going to get it in another few seconds, and I'll show you how to approach to solve this kind of questions. I hope you got it, dear students, the question.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the question here? Question here is solve the inequality. Four less than equal to 3 into 2 to the power x plus square root of x plus 4 power 1 plus square root of x. Okay. Now think about one point. Always, while you are solving irrational inequalities or exponential inequalities, always, and also modulus inequalities to some extent, always think about the value, x, the ranges of values of x. Without touching the pen and paper, you can say, sir, this inequation is defined for x greater than equal to 0, isn't it?
Yes.
Because square root of x, if x is less than 0, then we are not going to find any real solution, correct or not?
Yes.
So one thing though we are confirmed, this inequality is defined for, so what we can write, this inequation is defined for x greater than equal to 0. So that is the one thing that you got. Okay. Now, we need to now concentrate on that inequation, and you need to see that how we can, finding the relationship between the 2, 4, okay, and how we can proceed. Correct, dear students? So from here, what we are going to get is that this implies what? What is 4? 4 is nothing but 2 to the power, 2 to the power 2, correct or not?
Yes.
Oh, okay. There is a small mistake I have done here in this question. It should be 4 to the power x. Okay, the question is 4 to the power x is less than equal to 3 into 2 to the power x plus square root of x. Okay, dear students. Yeah. Okay, now let's proceed. So it should be 4 to the power x. Now, 4 to the power x, what we can write? 2 to the power 2x. We can write 2 to the power 2x is less than equal to 3 into 2 to the power x plus square root of x plus 4 into 4 to the power 4 into 2 to the power 2 root x. Correct or not? We can write 4 into 2 to the power 2 into root x. Correct, na?
Yes.
Now what we are going to do is that we are going to divide both sides of the inequality by 2 to the power 2x. Now, dear students, irrespective of the values of x, 2 to the power 2x is positive, na? So we can divide by a positive quantity. So what we are going to get? We are going to get the sign of inequality will remain the same. That we can conclude, na? So what we are going to divide? We are going to divide by 2 to the power 2x. So it should be left hand side, it will be less than equal to, will be 1. So 1 less than equal to 3 into 2 to the power 3 into, sorry, let me write properly. So that is equal to 3 into 2 to the power, as we are dividing by 2 to the power 2x, so 2 to the power x plus root x minus 2x, so that is equal to 2 to the power root x minus x, correct or not? All of you are able to resemble, able to get it, right? So 4 into, what we are going to get? 2 to the power 2 into root x minus x. All of you are able to get it now. There is a reason why we did so. So if you see that 2 to the power root x minus x is something, is our concentration now. So what we are going to get? We are going to get 2 to the power, so 4 into, we can, from here we can write 4 into 2 to the power root x minus x complete whole square, correct, na? Plus 3 into 2 to the power root x minus x, correct, na? Minus 1 is greater than equal to 0. All of you agree to me? Now what we are going to replace, let me write in a different color. Let 2 to the power root x minus x is equal to t. We are assuming this is equal to t. Then from here what we are going to get, this implies 4 into t square plus 3 into t minus 1 is greater than equal to 0, correct? So now if you simplify further, what you are going to get, this is going to get is that 4 into t minus 1 into t plus 1 is greater than equal to 0. So if you recall, dear students, when the product of two quantities are greater than 0, then either both are greater than 0 or both are less than 0. So from here what we can conclude? We can conclude that 40 minus 1 greater than 0 and t plus 1 greater than 0. Or 40 minus 1 less than 0 and t plus 1 less than 0. T plus 1 less than 0 is not possible, na? Are you getting my point? Because it is 2 to the power root x minus x. That has to be always, positive number. Correct, no? So that implies what? Okay, let me write it down. so that you will get it very clearly. So either this says what? Because it will be a recap also. Either 40 minus 1 is greater than equal to 0 and t plus 1 is greater than equal to 0. Correct, no? Either this has to be satisfied, or what has to be satisfied is that either, or as we wrote either, then I need to write. So 40 minus 1 less than equal to 0 and t plus 1 is less than equal to 0. Now t plus 1 less than equal to 0 is not going to possible, because t is equal to 2 to the power root x minus x. So this particular case is not under consideration. Okay, so then what we are going to get? So we are going to get that only this part, that is 40 minus 1 greater than equal to 0 and t plus 1 greater than equal to 0. T plus 1 to obviously greater than equal to 0, because t is equal to 2 power square root of x minus x. Na? So we can just conclude that 40 minus 1 is greater than equal to 0. As 40 minus 1 is greater than equal to 0, that means what? T is greater than equal to 1 by 4. This implies t is greater than equal to 1 by 4. What is t here, dear students? T is 2 to the power square root of x minus x. Correct or not? So from here what you can write? What is t? T is 2 to the power square root of x minus x is greater than equal to 1 by 2 power 2. Correct or not? So from here what you can conclude? So from here what you can conclude is that, so from here we can write 2 to the power root x minus x is greater than equal to 2 to the power minus 2. 1 by 2 to the power 2 means 2 to the power minus 2, no? Now go back to this one, a by b power x greater than equal to a by b power y, where a by b is an improper fraction like 2. What we can write? Root x minus x greater than equal to minus 2, no? Correct, not dear students? So this implies root x minus x is greater than equal to minus 2. So now here also we'll make an assumption. What assumption we'll make? Let's take a different color. Let us take that square root of x is equal to u. Let square root of x is equal to u. Then what we are going to get from here? So that implies u minus u square is greater than equal to minus 2. Correct or not? So this implies what? This implies u square minus u minus 2 is less than equal to 0. Correct or not? So u square minus u minus 2, we can have a middle term factorization. So what we can do is that u minus 2 into u plus 1 is less than equal to 0. So now from here what we can conclude? That if you recall that that implies u minus 2 into u minus of minus 1 is less than equal to 0. Correct or not, dear students? So what you can say, x minus alpha into x minus beta less than equal to 0. So that implies x is in between the minimum of alpha and beta and maximum of alpha and beta. Here instead of x it is u, alpha is minus 1 and beta is 2. So from here what we can say? Minus 1 less than equal to u less than equal to 2. Now obviously u should be greater than equal to minus 1, no? Because it is a positive number. U is equal to square root of x.
Yes.
So only we can consider is that by taking into consideration that u and u that is equal to square root of x is always greater than equal to 0 now. So minus it is greater than -1. That is actually getting miniature version of this one is that u is less than equal to 2. Correct or not? What is u? U is nothing but square root of x less than equal to 2. So from here what we can say? We can say x is less than equal to 4 now. Correct or not? Because we are making square of both the sides. So this is the solution set. X is less than equal to 4. That means x belongs to the, closed interval 0 to 4. Why? Because we need to consider that x is greater than equal to 0. Actually, it says that, x is, let me write in this manner. X is less than equal to 4 we got from this branch. And if you look into it previously, we got that it is defined for x greater than equal to 0. Na?
Yeah.
So x greater than equal to 0 and x less than equal to 4.
X.
Correct, na? So if we merge together, so what we can write? X greater than equal to 0 and x less than equal to 4 tells us that x belongs to the closed interval 0 to 4. That is the solution. Correct or not? Clear or not clear?
Yes.
Okay, dear students. So just have a look into it that, how we have done the different part of this one. Just have a quick look into it. At any point, if you have, any difficulty, please do let me know. So what I'm going to give, and to give it one question only today, and rest of the questions, to solve whatever I gave yesterday's exercises. Those who have not submitted, please submit it. Only one question I'll give. So you can write along with me. Solve the inequality 2 to the power x plus 2 minus 2 to the power x plus 3 minus 2 to the power x plus 4 is greater than 5 to the power x plus 1 minus 5 to the power x plus 2. Let me put the solution here also. That question here also. So this is a question. I repeat: 2 to the power x plus 2 minus 2 to the power x plus 3 minus 2 to the power x plus 4 is greater than 5 to the power x plus 1 minus 5 to the power x plus 2. Before I conclude the class for today, I just want to say you one point about this exponential inequalities. You may think, sir, in all the questions what you have solved today, you always found a pattern in among the numbers. Correct or not? If you look into this one, we found a pattern, the number 3, 2, 4. If you look into this one, we found, the pattern is already there, 1 by 2. We just looked into the indices. If you look into this question, here also, we actually make it, the power of 2 and found a pattern between 2 and 8. Is it always a question that you will get a pattern? Answer is yes. As long as your question in the entrance examination is concerned, yes, you will always get a pattern. Inherent pattern is there. Then how to detect that pattern? The only way to detect the pattern is that to perform extensive practice of relevant problems. And this kind of problems you are going to get in the practice test of konarkclasses.com platform. Log into www.konarkclasses.com. Login. After successful login, click into the write practice test. In the search one, search by keyword, write there linear, then you'll get all questions, drop down list question containing linear inequalities. Take one by one test. The more you give the test, the more it is actually getting, you get a varieties of questions. I repeat, this is not like DPPs. Solving DPPs gives you the fundamental, understanding, very rock solid, gives you confidence for your board examinations, and gives you a confidence to, face apparently difficult problems. But in DPPs, you will not get this kind of questions because DPP fundamentals. So with this, I would like to conclude the class for today. But my humble suggestion is that please submit your, solutions by tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to discuss another one that is the last topic for inequality, that is called logarithmic inequalities. Got it? And with this, I would like to conclude the class for today, dear students, unless you have any specific question for me. Okay, thank you.